Consequence of irregularity or regularity in a search. Regularity in a search. 1. Where a magistrate not empowered by law to issue a search warrant for search a place suspected to contain stolen property extra under section 94 under section 94 anonymously and in a good faith issue such a warrant. The search proceeding shall not be set aside merely on the ground that the magistrate was not empowered to issue such a search warrant. Such a search warrant हो गया. 2. It has been specially provided by Section 93, Clause 3 that no magistrate other than a district magistrate or CJM shall issue a warrant to search a document, parcel, or other things in the custody of the postal or telegraph authority. Full stop. If any magistrate not so specified issue such a search warrant, the search proceeding shall be void. Full stop. A search without warrant conducting by a police officer who is not authorized to do so is illegal and devoid of legal authority. Full stop. We have already seen the procedure to be followed in the case of a search of a place. Full stop. Journal speaking court have taken the view that non-compliance with the search procedure will not be evacuate the trial or making the search evidence inadmissible thought that may affect the weight of evidence in support of a search and recovery. Full stop. The provision related to the search procedure are considered to be directory only. Full stop. There is no rule that in the absence of the independent witness being associated with search and seizure cannot be believed upon. Full stop. The Supreme Court in state of Maharashtra versus Natwarlal Damodar Das Soni expressed the view that even if the search is illegal, that will not be affect the validity of the seizure and further investigation or the validity of a trial. Full stop. If the search procedure followed by the police officer is not strictly legal and the occupant of the place of search can obstruct with impunity the officer attempting such a search. Full stop. 6. Non-compliance with the search procedure would make the entry into the place of a search as one without lawful authority. Full stop. The person making such an entry is liable to sue in a civil court for trespass. He can also be subjected. To such force by the occupant of the place is legal justifiable in defense of the property and person. Seizure होता है जब्ती. We have already seen that the person lawful making a search whether with or without a warrant has power to seizure all of the specified article for which the search is made. Full stop. Whoever a police officer making any search has far wider power to seizure any incriminating 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 things incrementing things thought they might not have been the specified things for which the search was to be made. Full stop. It has been provided that any police officer may seize any property which may be legal or suspected to have been stolen, or which may be found under circumstances which create suspicion of the commission of any offense. Full stop. In MT era Nixie Aberasi Dramova, the Supreme Court examined validity of the seizure of the Italian vessel from which Marian opened fire and killed fishermen, and opened that vessel can be released on fulfillment of the certain condition. Full stop. The court, whoever did not making any observation regarding the validity of the seizure of a vessel which does not fall in any of the category mentioned in the section 102. Section 102. Full stop. Seizure under the section 102. Seizure under the section 102 mean actually taking possession in pursuance of a legal process. Full stop. Seizure is made at a particular moment when a person or authority take into this possession some property some property is also early not in this possession. Full stop. As such, it has been held that police cannot seize the count and locked held by an accused in a bank. Full stop. The question whether in exercise of the power under section 102 a police officer could order stoppage of the operation of bank count of in accused came to answer in the affirmative by the Supreme Court, albeit contrary ruling by the High Court of the Karnataka, Allahabad, Guwahati, and Delhi. Full stop. But the Supreme Court disproved the freezing of count of a not only because the chief of nut was accused in a murder case. Full stop. The Madras High Court has ruled that in case of the seizure of a bank count, the police officer could do two things. So firstly, he could inform the magistrate concerned forthwith regarding the prohibitory order. Full stop. He should also give notice of the seizure to the accused and allow him to operate the bank count, subject to this executing a bond undertaking to provide the count in order such, and when required to hold him subject to such order as the court may make regarding the disposal. Full stop. According to the court in order under section 102, without doing so is liable to be set aside. Okay. Full stop. Set aside. This provision is useful where the search is under a warrant for a journal search, nor it is confined only to case in respect of the cognizable offense. Full stop. The police officer seizing the property shall forthwith report the seizure to the magistrate having jurisdiction, and if such an officer is subordinate to the SHO, he shall also report forth within the seizure to the SHO. Full stop. Within a view to avoiding loss due to the delay of the property, it has been enacted as a proviso to section 102 under clause 3. Section 102 under clause 3 that if the property is subject to delay and of value of the less than of the 500, it could be sold by auction under the order of the superintendent of police. Full stop. The proceeding could be proceed under section 457 and 458 under section 457 और 458 under section 457 और 457 और 458 हो गया 457 और 458 investigation meaning and purpose. In common parlance, investigation and inquiry are used as a synonym and interchangeable terms. Synonym and interchangeable term. In common parlance, investigation and inquiry are used as a synonym or interchangeable terms. Synonym and interchangeable term. Full stop. The criminal procedure code. Whoever use him differently and with specific instant innotation हो गया innotation. full stop. Investigation according to the code. Investigation according to the code, it is to be conducted always by a police officer or any other authorized person other than a magistrate. It include all of the proceeding under the code for the collection of evidence. Full stop. Primarily inquiry prior to the registration of the case, even if a deputy superintendent of police is not whoever part of the investigation in an inquiry according to the code, meaning every inquiry which is conducted by magistrate or court and which is not a trial. Full stop. In inquiry is never conducted by the police. Thought in common parlance. We talk of the police inquiry. Full stop. The investigating agency and the investigating officer have a higher degree of the responsibility. And a high degree of the ethical rectitude to ensure that the investigating are carried out without any bias and are conducting in all fairness, not only to the accused person but also to the victim of any crime, whether the victim is an individual or the state. The term trial has not been defined in the code. Full stop. It means the judicial process in according with law, whereby the question of the guilty or innocence of the person accused of any offense is determined, and therefore where a magistrate or court conduct inquiry for deciding as to the guilty or innocence of any person accused of any offense which such an inquiry investigation. In common parlance, investigation and inquiry are used as synonyms or interchangeable term. Full stop. The criminal procedure code. Whoever use him differently and with a specific distracting innotation. हो गया. Investigation according to the code, it is to be conducted always by a police officer or any authorized person other than a magistrate. It include all of the proceeding under the code for the collection of the evidence in a primarily inquiry prior to the registration of the case, even if by a deputy superintendent of police. Deputy superintendent of police is not whoever part of the investigation. Full stop. An inquiry according to the code mean every inquiry which is conducted by magistrate or court मैजिस्ट्रेट और कोर्ट हो गया, इंक्वायरी कंडक्टेड बाय द मैजिस्ट्रेट और कोर्ट हो गया।